Hello, Buddhas. Today we are going to be talking about how do you know when your manifestations are coming. Now, Buddhas, before we get started, I've got a playlist down below with the best Buddha Billionaire videos that you can binge watch to help accelerate your spiritual awakening. Now, how do you know that thing that you are working towards, that you are manifesting, that you are visualizing, how do you know that it's coming? Well, a big part of this is actually you having faith in your manifestation, in your abilities. But objectively, if we look at it, how do we determine our level of faith in something? For me, that comes down to our comfortability with it. I have faith that I have a camera because I'm using it to film this video right now. There's nothing special, nothing esoteric about that faith. It just is because it's in my reality. And that gives me a certain feeling of, when I don't have the camera around, being like, oh, I would like to have my camera. I know that feeling. I can bring that there, and then I have what I needed to have because of that faith. If I left my condo and didn't bring my camera, and then wanted that camera, and then was freaking out being like, oh my god, I need a camera, and completely forgetting that I had one sitting in my condo, I wouldn't be showing any faith. Now, in this case, it's quite simple to agree that I have the camera because I'm using it right here. I can physically touch it, taste it if I wanted to, sense it. It exists in reality. But it produces that feeling, that solid knowing that if I needed it, I could go and pick it up. And that aspect, that feeling, that understanding that there is in fact a camera with my name on it that I can use whenever I need is really calming and really centering and instills an immense amount of belief or faith or knowledge in that fact. And why am I going on about this for the last minute? Well, that feeling actually has nothing to do with the physicality of the camera itself. That feeling is the secret. So when you get to a point where you can feel as if you had that object of your desire, let's say it's a car, if I could feel right now that the car was sitting in my parking spot down in the basement of my condo, well, then I would have to have the car in order to feel that way. So by contrast, if we know that that is how we're going to feel when we do have the car, because right now, let's be honest, I don't currently own a car, although I know I have it in my vortex. So when we know that those two things are only separated by our faith, not necessarily by the money or the monthly payments or the name on the lease or the whatever three-dimensional world aspect you want to put out there, when you know that it's the faith that you have the thing that determines whether you have the thing or not, then you can practice that state of being. And a really important aspect to this, for all of you that have stuck around to this aspect of the video, this is the real clincher, is if I was wanting a car, or if I had a car, because I had previously wanted one, and let's say I have one, I wouldn't be thinking about needing to get a car. That thought would be completely out of my head. The same way that that thought is out of my head in relation to getting a camera. I have a camera. Instead, what I'm doing with my camera now is I'm looking for new lenses. I'm looking for new accessories. I'm looking for something that I can put it on my belt with. I'm looking for a nice strap. I'm looking for different ways that I can accent the camera. I'm looking for opportunities that I can use the camera to go do some shoots, to go do some sunsets, to go do different, more exciting Buddha Billionaire videos. Stay tuned, subscribe down below. There's so much coming, guys. Oh my god, I can't even explain it all. But I'm not thinking about I need a camera because I have it. So in deciding that I would like to have a car and manifesting that, bringing that in and having the faith that I have it, and sitting in the position and the understanding that that is currently a fact, then I wouldn't be thinking about what the color of the car might be, or what the inside of the materials are going to be like, or how it's going to drive, because I'm going to know all those things. But what I would be thinking about, Buddhas, is how I'd like to accentuate it. Where am I going to store my winter tires? In Canada, we need tires. Where am I going to go for my oil changes? What's that schedule going to be like? How's the maintenance on this brand new vehicle? What are the monthly lease payments? Thinking about those aspects that are involved in owning the car, not in wanting the car, but the aspects that are involved in ownership of the vehicle. Imagining myself going for a car cleaning or a drive-through cleaning or whatever you call them. Imagine filling up for gas. Imagine paying for that gas. These are the things that you would do with a car. Just like with a camera, you would go out and use it to take photos. With a car, you would go out and drive it. So I believe that this is a fundamental aspect that they touch on in The Secret, but the way that that movie is shot, it doesn't always resonate with everyone the first time they see it, but it gives you that tantalizing tease of, if I owned the car, Buddhas, I wouldn't be thinking about what car I want. That would be passé, I would have it. Now, I might want a new car eventually, but that's a whole different subject and a whole different manifestation. But if I owned the car, what I would be thinking about and what I would be focusing in on my new manifestations might be, how do I want to soup it up? What do I want to add? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? How do I want to use this thing instead of just parking it in a concrete slab somewhere and having it sit and rotten forever? That's not what the car would want. What would the car want? And Buddhas, that is the secret, because what we've done here is we have accelerated the timeline. We have moved past the desire for the car. And we are moving into what do you do when you have a car and where do you want to take it? And that, my friends, my Buddhas, my soul pushed out, that is the ultimate secret about how to manifest, and that is the faith that we touched on at the beginning of said video, where I have faith that I have a camera. I don't need to worry about buying a camera. I may buy a new camera in the future, but that's not what's in my mind right now. What I'm looking at is what I want to do with the camera, what I want to set up with the camera, where I want to go with the camera. And that is exactly the same thing that you need to do if you want to manifest something like a car, where get to the point where you have the faith that you already own the vehicle. I feel like I'm talking to myself here, and I'm going to rewatch this video. Get to the point where you feel like you own the vehicle. And then decide what you would do next. Where would you go? Who would you see? What would you do? Would you get caught speeding? All these different, fun, eclectic things that you could do with a vehicle. And it could be anything, a car, a watch, a yacht, it doesn't matter. But you have to stop desiring the item itself and get to a point of faith, belief, knowledge, understanding, whatever word you want to use in the English language, which is incredibly limited, whatever word you want to use to describe it, get to the point where you already know that you have it. And the feeling is the secret. And Buddhas, remember, at the end of the day, the most important thing is to love yourself.